All right, so now we have a very simple, absolute inequality right here. It's just saying absolute value of x is less than or equal to 5. Okay. So now the way we do, okay, is if you watched the previous video, if you know how to do absolute equations, then you should be okay. Okay, so we have, well, if we do absolute equations, we do what? X is equal to 5 and x is equal to -5, right? So we have x is less than or equal to 5, just like the normal ones, normal. And then the other branch, we will have x is, well, not less than or equal to, because we are multiplying the negative to the other sign, right? That's how 5 becomes -5. So in this case, we'll have to flip the sign, and then that's equal to -5 right there. Okay. So right here, I hope you can see the connection between here and the question 1 and 2 earlier, because so that you can see how they're closely linked together. Okay. So now, but there's a word right here. Okay. When we did the absolute equations, it is always an or. Okay. Because, you know, it's or. It could be one or the other. It cannot be both. But now we have the inequality. It's not exclusively or anymore. It could be and it could be or. So now the decision is, how do we know which one to put into this empty space? All right. So now here is the little strategy. Okay. Now, before we there's a more sophisticated way that we can use in the future, but for now we'll use this the little easy strategy to get us out. Okay. Now the easy strategy is like this. If you have the absolute expression that's on the left, okay, if you have the absolute value expression on the left, then you can go ahead and read this out loud. Okay, go ahead, read it loud. Okay, is it greater than or less than? Okay, if it is, in this case, less than, then we say it must be, well, it goes with and, because this little strategy really goes with the mnemonic device here. So less than and, right? They rhyme with each other. Less than, okay. And if it is greater, then we use or. Greater. So greater. Okay. So that's really how we use it. Okay. Now, of course, that would not be a good way to explain to somebody else and say, well, that's what it means. Well, this is really just a quick way to get us to the right spot in terms of understanding the meaning. I would say by the end of this week, we will learn about graphing absolute value functions, and then you will be able to truly understand why it's going to be and or in this situations. But for now, again, a little prerequisite is that you have to have the absolute value of x on the left, and then you just go ahead and read it out loud in your head. Is it less than or greater? If it's less than, then we're going ahead and put in the and relationship, which means that the solution would have to meet both of the criteria. So we have x is less than 5 and yet greater than -5. So we have -5 right here and 5 right here. So the way we can highlight our solutions will be something like this. Okay, let me make it a little bit thicker. Okay, so that's how we highlight our solutions. Again, the way we do our absolute inequality, it's very similar to what we do absolute equations. It is simply having a positive and a negative version of it. And because we take care of the negative version of the absolute equations, we will go ahead and flip the sign as well. And therefore, you see the two inequality signs, they are different from each other. And the other critical thing is that whether it is and or, okay? So again, less than, it's and, greater, it's or. And after you finish writing it and labeling your number line, it's always a good idea to do a quick check, either checking your solution or checking if things outside your solution would make the statement true or not true. So for us, we're going to go ahead and do a quick check right here. We say, all right, let's go ahead and put a number right here. Let's just say -1, all right? Put a -1 right there, back to the inequality. Would that make the statement true? And we say, well, absolute value of -1, it's 1. 1 is less than 5. Hey, that is true, right? So we're good. Now, if you go ahead and say, all right, now how about we pick the number 10? So you put the number 10 right there. You'd be like, absolute value of 10 is less than or equal to 5. 10 is less than or equal to 5. Well, that is definitely false. And therefore, we cannot allow this to be our solution. So we're good with these two. Okay, so this is less than or equal to. Okay, so it's and. Then go to the next question. Next question would be the other kind. That would be greater. So greater, so it will be or. So if x minus 6 is greater than 1, okay, normal, or x minus 6 is less than, we flip the sign because the right-hand side is going to turn negative. Again, the reason why this is or is because it is greater here. So we say x, we're going to add 6 on both sides. So we have x is greater than 7. And then we're going to add 6 on both sides on the right-hand side branch. We have x is less than 5. So we have a 5 right here and a 7 right here. And then we will go ahead and draw the number line. Okay. All right, now, okay, it's very simple. And we'll go ahead and double check. We'll go ahead and double check. And let's just say I'm kind of doubting myself if this is going to be true. So I'm going to pick a number 6 right here. Okay, put it back to x and see if it's going to make a true or false statement. So if you put the number 6 right here, 6 minus 6 would be 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. 0 greater than 1. It's totally false. So 6 would not be a solution. And if you pick any number right here, let's just say we pick the number 10 right here, 10 minus 6. Okay, 10 minus 6 would be 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. 4 bigger than 1. Hey, that's true. So we are very confident about our solutions being correct in this case. Okay, so now, what kind of mistakes that I've seen in the past, you may ask? I've seen a very actually, before we talk about the mistakes, I need to cover one more thing. That is, how do you write a set and builder notation? So again, you would just copy whatever that you found over here and then fit into this set builder notation, which is the x such that, and then you go ahead and write out all those stuff. And then for interval notation, you write from parentheses -infinity to 5, not including 5 because we have an open circle. And then because we have another interval, then we'll say union 7 to infinity, done. Okay, done. So that's really what it is. And now I think we can talk about the common mistakes that I've seen in the past. All right, now the common mistake, it's gonna be the I mean, of course, common mistakes would be people not flipping the sign, people not changing this to a negative value. Those are very common. Okay. But then, of course, people not knowing this is or, not knowing why this is or, that's also another very common mistake. Okay. Now, another very interesting, hilarious mistake is that if you look at the current setup right here, and after we're done, and the student would go ahead and label the number line. Now, this is what happened when people don't really think when they do things, and I will let you see what's wrong. Okay. So the student would be like, okay, x is greater than 7. So it's over there. Okay. And then x is less than 5. Okay. So this is 5. And then we go over here. Okay. So they are very confused. They're like, wait, hold on. So do I get all real numbers for the answer? So puzzled. Okay. So unfortunately, it's not all real numbers. And what the student was not able to see is that a very simple way to use the number line, right? Right. The number line is from left to right, from small number to big number, and therefore it is going to be 5 on the left, and then 7 on the right. So I mean, you may laugh at it. You may think like, really, that happened? Yes, that happened. And that's exactly the reason why I'm sharing with you, because when people really don't start to think math, crazy things could really happen. So yeah, so that's how we actually have these mistakes. So just make sure that you are actually knowing the setup of a number line, small numbers on the left, big numbers on the right, then it will be really, really good. All right. So that's pretty much it for the simple stuff. The next video will go into other examples. So if you need more examples to boost your understanding, so please make sure that you watch the next video.